Well, Ron, the jury is deliberating right now, and in those closing arguments, the state and the defense, they presented two drastically different cases here. The state says that witness testimony during this case is evidence enough to convict Frankie Gebhardt of murdering and then concealing the death of Timothy Coggins back in 1983, while the defense attorneys, they say there are simply too many inconsistencies and holes in the witness testimony in this case for the jury to return a guilty verdict. Now, when the the district attorney was delivering his closing argument for the state, he walked the jury through testimony from several witnesses detailing the defendant, claiming he murdered Timothy Coggins, including information investigators had never released. The DA, Benjamin Coker, also told the jury over the past 34 years, evidence was lost, and he is sorry he could not present the full case here to the jury, but he said Gebhardt's omissions over the year to witnesses helped preserve this case. Gebhardt's attorney, though, argued the state has not proven guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. He said there is no proof several pieces of physical evidence presented to the jury are actually tied to this murder, as they were found in a well on Gebhardt's property. Inside that well was trash, several decades worth of trash, and they said the evidence could have just been coincidental and also just part of the trash that was found in the well. His attorneys also said some witnesses have added to their stories over the year and said that there were credibility issues about the witness testimony. His attorney also said that several of the witnesses are currently in prison and could be hoping for some sort of deal, a lesser sentence on their prison time in exchange for their testimony. But the district attorney did say that no one here has been promised a shorter sentence for their testimony in this case. Now, Frankie Gebhardt decided not to testify in his trial. This case was handed to the jury a few minutes after 4 o'clock. They've been deliberating since then. I'm going to head back into the courthouse right now to get the latest on their deliberations, and we'll have an update for you, Ron, coming up right here on 11 Alive News at 6. We'll send it back to you.
All right.